Hello, everybody. In this short video, we're going to be discussing artificial intelligence, AI, and to talk about the policies that we'll be using in this course regarding AI. And AI is a wonderful tool, and it's tremendous advances have been made in just recent years. For example, the two images that I put on this slide were created using AI. I used Microsoft Copilot and basically told the image that I wanted, which I wanted to show students in a classroom using AI or interacting with robots, and this is what they came up with. So you can do some interesting things with artificial intelligence, and so it's got its pluses and its minuses. So that's what we're going to talk about today. All right, so many historians and many critics would say that due to the advances that have been made in AI in just the last several years, that we are reaching a turning point in world history, and that is something that is hotly debated. Now, some people have argued that AI will lead to a social and economic revolution, that as a result of artificial intelligence, life as we know it, our economic lives, our social lives will be tremendously impacted by this new technology through these advances in technology. Now some people have been scared by this new technology and have claimed that this AI will lead to the end of humanity as we know it. I'm sure you're familiar with movies like The Terminator or The Matrix that portray a world in which AI is at war with humanity, and this has obviously negative impact on the human race. So that's one way of looking at it. Now there are some people who just kind of scoff at AI and think this is just a bunch of hype, that these new AI companies like NVIDIA or ChatGPT are just making billions, and it's just all a bunch of hype. It's going to lead to a huge stock market bubble that at some point will pop and a lot of money will be lost. So we don't really know what's going to happen. We maybe 100 years from now we'll know better of what happened and all that. But there's no question that we live in very exciting times. All right, so that's AI in the big picture. Let's talk about artificial intelligence in this history course, or in history courses in general. Now, excuse me. Now, in this history course and in history courses across the country, one of the key objectives in a history course is to improve critical thinking skills and writing skills. And that's what we do in history courses, and especially in general education history courses. Now, in this class and in many history courses, students writing essays is one of the primary ways in which instructors assess student success in achieving course objectives. So if as instructors if we want to determine how well the students are learning the material and determine how much their critical thinking skills and writing skills are improving, we assign essays and grade essays to determine student success in achieving those course objectives. Now, where AI comes in is that AI programs such as Microsoft Copilot or Google Gemini or OpenAI, ChatGPT, all these AI programs, they are capable of writing high quality essays, and so that creates a problem for us because we want our students to write the essays, not AI programs. So using AI programs to fabricate an essay is a violation of the policies of this course and of college, the policies of Northeast State, the college Northeast State in general, because it constitutes plagiarism. It's misrepresentation. What you're doing is presenting work that was done by, in this case, AI or it could be done by somebody else. You're taking the work done by something else and presenting it as your own work, and that is a lie. That's cheating. That's not acceptable ethical behavior. So that's why we have those policies in place. So you might ask yourself, well, why is that? Why, if we have this wonderful new technology, right? We have this AI, why not use it? I know a lot of you are very busy. You have maybe a lot of courses you're taking. You have family obligations. Maybe you're doing a lot of work outside of school. And, if history is not even your major, like, why should you spend all this time writing essays when you have this new technology that can do the job for you? Well, let's talk about that. Well, the reason why we don't let you use AI to write your essays is because if you do, students will never develop their critical thinking skills. And without critical thinking skills, the ability to analyze, examine, assess, without those skills, well, basically you'll live a dull and boring life. There was a famous saying attributed to the great philosopher Socrates. He lived in ancient Athens in Greece over 2,400 years ago. He is supposedly said that an unexamined life is not worth living. So a life without critical thinking is really a worthless life. And this, of course, was attributed to him by his famous pupil, the philosopher Plato, in the work The Apology. You always want to cite your source when you give a quotation. Now, another thing is that if students do not develop their writing skills, if they use AI to write their essays for them, they'll never develop their writing skills, and they will fail to know the difference between good and bad writing. And that's important because writing is one of the ways in which you present information to people. So if you don't know how to write well, if you can't write well, then well, you're not going to make a very good impression on anybody. And even if you use AI to write something for you, you won't know whether AI has done something well or badly, because you won't know the difference between good and bad writing. So AI is a great tool, but it's a worthless tool if you have not developed your writing skills on your own and know the difference between good writing and bad writing. And finally, if you allow AI to write all your work for you, then you will actually never learn the course material. You'll never learn history. You'll never learn the topic. You'll never learn the subject. It will never get into your brain. So that's yet another reason we do not allow students to use AI to fabricate their written work for this class. So I mentioned earlier that AI is a great tool and it's a fantastic technology. How can students use AI in this course? Well, there are ways to use it ethically and morally. You can use AI to research a topic, and you do this by asking an AI program specific questions. And whenever you ask a question of an AI like Gemini or ChatGPT, it's called a prompt. So you can use AI to do research, and so in this class what the essay questions are going to be for exams and for written assignments. So you can start researching those topics if you choose to, using various AI programs. Now, in order to ask effective questions of AI programs, you need to have prior knowledge. So you need to ask the right questions. So before you can even research a topic, you want to actually do the readings in the assigned textbook and do the readings in the course lectures, because that will give you the knowledge to ask questions that are applicable and pertinent and relevant. And another thing is that once you ask the questions and get a response, if you have prior knowledge, you're going to be able to determine whether or not the AI has provided information that is relevant to your topic. Because there are times when you put something in AI, you ask a question, you put in a prompt, and it comes up with information that really has nothing to do with what you're looking for. And so, but if you didn't know that, if you didn't have any prior knowledge, then, well, you wouldn't know that the information from AI isn't really suitable in this case. So that's why if you're going to do research using AI, you really have to kind of know what you're doing first. You have to kind of have a little bit of knowledge first before you start researching your topic. Now, let's say you use AI, you ask prompts, you put in some good questions, you get some responses, and you've looked at the responses, and it seems like this is information that's consistent with the reading you've done in class or in course lectures or whatever. Then what you need to do next is to take that information and summarize it in your own words. So what you don't want to do is just copy it and paste it into your essay. That's inappropriate. What you need to do is to take that information, put it in your own words, kind of think about it and get it into your brain, and then put it in your own words into your essay. Now also, now you don't have to use AI at all if you don't want to for this class, but if you do use AI, what you need to do is when you turn in your work, whether it be an exam essay or a written assignment, you need to include a list of all the prompts that you used. Because as the instructor, I want to know where you got your information. And so you need to list your prompts and also the AI program that you used, whether it be Microsoft Copilot or Gemini or whatever. So you need to include that information so that I, as the instructor, know your sources of information. But I want to stress, you don't have to use AI at all if you don't want to for this class. But it's out there as a tool if you think you need to use it. So lastly, what are the consequences for using AI to fabricate coursework? What are the consequences if you don't follow the guidelines that I just set forth and you just go to AI, get an essay, and just turn it in and present it as your own work? What happens? Well, if I, the instructor, determine that you have used AI to fabricate any written work for this class and to present it as your own work, you will automatically receive an F in this class. And I will report your behavior to the academic dean. And the procedures that are followed if a student is guilty of academic misconduct, these guidelines are in the student handbook. You can go to the Northeast State website, look up the student handbook, and it's in section 030504. So I would encourage you to go to the student handbook and read that section if you think you need to. Now I'm hoping that it never comes to this. I am hoping, I really do not want to give anybody an F for being guilty of plagiarism or academic misconduct. So hopefully everybody will follow these guidelines or not use AI, and everything will be great, and we'll have a fun and successful semester learning about history.